we will stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll be starting with our consent agenda. Any questions on the minutes from the previous meeting? The warrants. So I had asked Sharon about the first line item, A1 vacuum, just seemed a little high. And Sharon, I'll let you talk to the board about that one.
We could buy 2 new batteries for our Lord spreader energy. So that's why, yeah, they were about 300 piece, or no, 600 piece.
Batteries are expensive.
Yeah.
And then you'll notice a lot of half tuition for the out of district students. So Sharon, if you don't mind, I'll let you speak to that.
Absolutely. So this was a legislative change they made where they felt that out of districts kiddos, their districts needed to help pay and vice versa. It is honestly a paperwork nightmare. And it's pretty much a wash in the end that we pay out of our tuition. And then what money we receive goes into our general fund to help fund the general fund. So, and you'll see that for a while.
Do we still need to pay for more out of district for the first half?
Nope, this is our first half. Payment was due by mid-December. So, and after most people are having their board meetings this week, so we should be receiving our revenue as well, about 44,000. It goes into our general fund. And it's not on top of it, it's just a help fund that was already there. So basically in the past, we would have gotten like 100% of general fund. They took that 100% minus 44,000 because they anticipated it from other districts, help fund ours.
Long way to get to a very similar result.
Exactly.
Okay. There no transportation contracts?
No. And no out of district agreements.
And then we did have JV approvals in our packet.
We had termination pay for the custodial. We had
The GT
the
salary.
GT salary.
So the school receives 5,000 in gifted and talented, and so that gets recoded to our teacher that's primarily responsible for gifted and talented.
Then we had our title program. The fiscal year ends September 30th. And so some things were quoted to 25 that should have been 26. So it was $200. And then,
And then just to clarify, that's not a stipend, that's just a reallocation of the general fund
Correct.
for that GT.
and then the quarterly 1 cent adjustment for unemployment. Got to balance.
Even if you have 2 employees, you have to do it. Linda, did you have any questions on the consent agenda?
No, no questions.
No questions.
No question.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to our student report.
You can advertise the students I can hear.
You got a whole phone. You want to go first?
Can you see them?
I'm nervous.
No.
Just go that way, Wyatt. There you go.
There it is.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Wyatt, 8th grade. I'm in Miss Counts' advisory leadership team. All this stuff. I'm gonna talk about the cheer team, which we had 15 participants this year, so we had a pretty large team. And which was great because they had very good performances, halftime shows were great. And they'll get to perform again in our Christmas pageant, that's December 18th. They will be doing a
Cheer dance.
a cheer dance. To the song Run Run Rudolph. That's all I got for my cheer team.
I'm Teague Nicely. I'm 7th grade. I'm also in the student leadership team, and I'm gonna be talking about the trimester tournaments. So that's, trimester tournaments are when all of our 6 advisory goes against each other's in sports, like just our last tournament we did floor hockey. Then our next tournament, trimester 2, is dodgeball. Our last tournament, which our 8th graders are not gonna be playing in, is kickball. And the winner, the student winners get to go against all the staff members and teachers that want to participate. That's all I got.
Did you play the staff this time?
No,
We lost.
Staff did not.
Staff won, no, staff won, I'm saying my team lost. Oh, staff, terrible, and how big is the trophy?
You guys
I
have
got one
trophy?
thing.
We do have a trophy.
Tall little guy.
Is this a travel? Go ahead.
Okay, I did another thing, so again, sports, this is boys basketball, we had 30 kids, sadly, we had 3 drop out due to their own issues. But our set of 18 went 5-5 in our regular season, which was good. I missed one of the games because I was sick, I'm sad, I wanted to play. Our 5-16 went 8-2.
Wow.
Which was very fun, impressive, and they played great ball. My team, 7-18, we lost our tournament, which was sad, but last time in uniform went out swimming, so that was fun. And our 5-16 plays pool play tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes, and that's all for me.
Awesome, good job.
Nice question. Good job.
Do you have-
Go grab the trophy
Yeah,
from Miss Barrett. for
I wanna see the trophy.
Miss Barrett's team 1, Barrett, Carrots, and then we name ourselves. So our teams and we all have matching t-shirts is pretty great. But yeah, Barrett's, Carrots won and
Are they
so
all
we
vegetables?
played them against, well, teachers played against them. What?
Are they all vegetables? Cause weren't you Count's potato?
That was a long time ago. So each year we name a new name. It's a new group. We rotate out. And when he said that the 8th graders will not get to play kickball, that's because we actually bring up our 5th graders to join us. It'll be their first time participating in the trimester tournament, getting them assigned to their advisory group. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's the trophy.
That thing is awesome. That's a good one.
Yeah. And right now it's Barrett's Carrots, but we'll see what happens in dodgeball. Great, thanks boys, we appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the guest comment section.
Members of the public are encouraged to comment during this time regarding items not listed on the agenda. Chair will seek public comments on agenda items as they occur. By law, the board cannot take action on matters discussed during the public comment portion of the meeting, but may include a matter raised during this time on a future agenda. The board would like to remind everyone to avoid commenting on private personnel matters, private student matters, and pending legal matters. Please state your name before providing your guest comments. Do we have any guest comments?
Sure, Mrs. Mueller. I don't know if it's further down and I don't want to rain on anyone's parade.
That's all right, that's all right. All right, we're gonna move on to our action items. We do not have any considerations for out-of-district students. Do we need a table strike? Strike, if I can get a motion to strike.
I'll make a motion to strike action item 8.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are moving on to the memorandum of understanding from the KTA. Background on that is we had proposed a memorandum to the KTA trying to resolve any portion of their certified bargaining agreement that would have been affected by part-time employment. They came back with a modified version of the memorandum. So basically, it's just that we would agree that part-time work contracts are subject to admin recommendation board approval. And then 11.2, the CBA shall be modified for all part-time certified staff. We're And that is the part addressing meetings. So 11.2 is all teachers shall be given at least one daily prep period, and all certified staff are required to attend the early out meetings unless there's an emergency, sickness, or an absence. So I'm assuming that means part-time staff will not have to attend those meetings.
Or be afforded an entire daily prep. According to their FTE. So it sort of offsets each other for this school year.
They will not be awarded a daily prep. Is that what you
They
said?
have a daily prep, it's not a full daily prep as others. So currently, our part-time certified staff member has a full lunch period, which could get split into a prorated lunch period and a prorated prep.
Gotcha.
And waiving the portion of that that's not equal to the FTE they are doing right now, we're waiving them to be required to all early out Friday meeting. Is in layman's terms what that is.
And then, of course, the board can always during negotiations go back and hit all those parts that we were trying to hit before. We'll just do it the long way.
That happened.
Any thought on that one?
I think sounds great, actually.
Linda, any questions or comments on the MOU?
No, no questions or comments.
I would take a motion to approve the MOU.
A motion to approve the MOU.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Where are we at with hiring custodian? Oh, Mrs. Davis is smiling.
Got great news. So we went through our hiring process. We had 5 applicants for our 1 custodial FTE. The hiring committee ranked and selected 4 of those 5 to interview. And 2 of whom, would want to actually share that FTE. So I have 2 recommendations for you for the 1 FTE. And I would just like them both to work as much as they possibly can after they retire from their current position. Restrictions on how much you can make after you retire from other arrangements. And then based on where they'd be placed on our matrix hourly rate, that tells us what their FTE could be. So we're working through all of that, I have a recommendation to hire and probably do them separately. The first is Shane Nelson. So he has experience at Smith Valley School as their custodian maintenance supervisor. And so that would essentially be his role here would be our sort of lead custodian, taking lead over the other. So I'll just leave that half, maybe then you can vote, you come after the second one then.
Can we put the hiring committee with me?
Yes.
That'd be best.
Yep.
Thank you.
Unanimous, sorry, that is maybe how I should say that, unanimous. So we had 2 certified staff, 1 classified staff, and Amanda and myself sat in on the hiring, so the unanimous decision of the hiring committee is to recommend Shane as one of our 2 recommendations today. His FTE will end up being between 0.5 and 0.59. Depending on where we land with his accountant. That TBD. That.
Okay.
I would make a motion to hire Shane Nelson.
I will make a motion to hire Shane Nelson.
I will second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the next person.
The other sort of half-ish of that FTE recommendation is Jackie Rodriguez. She has 35 years of school cleaning experience from California in a school district that was 2,000 strong, so to say she has some experience with what she would be hired to do here is an understatement. And our unanimous committee recommendation is to hire Jackie for the portion of that FTE.
And they're both happy with the amount of hours that are available.
They are still excited. That's
I
great.
guess I do have a question, though. Why are we splitting up one FTE between two different people? The amount I'm missing something?
Oh, that's no, great question. With the really weird part about Kiowa School is having to clean the gym in between lunch and sports. So that's happening also interrupts the natural flow of when it would be ideal to have a custodian here. The other weird part of that is lots of schools like to have daytime custodians for the pukes and mud and all the things that happen with children in the building. So it's this weird nuance where, and our unanimous decision is coming from experience that all the things that would come, with our district and our special circumstances, but these two, one would actually love to work from like 2 to 6 in the afternoon. The other would love to work from like 4 in the morning to 8 in the morning. So I couldn't ask for a better
But
one FTE custodial situation actually, because that 4 to 8 will do all the classroom, all the things you can't clean when there's bodies here. The rest would kind of do the gym, and get bathrooms started and go and be present for anything we couldn't do fully while kids were there.
that sounds perfect. It really does.
Doesn't
Yeah.
And they're both limited as to the hours they can work, so neither one can take over.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
but still very excited to be working.
Excellent. Sounds great. What was,
Jackie.
Jackie. Perfect. I'd like to make a motion to hire Jackie. That's the second part of that.
I would second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Amanda slipping in with the second.
No, I had to remember how to spell your name.
Everything that's, I never thought of those.
Hey,
Thank you.
They're delicious, aren't they?
No.
You said that.
yeah, we had a flight yesterday.
The whole plate, huh?
Sorry, Linda, we're just moving fudge around the table.
No, that's okay. I just made a pound of it myself last night.
Right, we are moving on to action item B, the Bridge Health Alliance.
So John Doran from Bridge provided as much information as they could. They're still revamping the plan to try and accommodate people's concerns. One of the questions we had was about a cafeteria plan, so I reached out to him, and actually the cafeteria plan would be provided by Allegiance. So they would provide a cafeteria plan as well on a premiums pre-tax. So the due date is the 19th, is coming up here, so a lot of the districts are all, after this month, we'll know for 100% if we're ready to hit the ground running for each year, so.
So at this time, they're just asking for the district to commit to participating.
Right.
And then
We're not picking plans, we're not committing ourselves to a whole bunch of stuff yet.
we did have a very productive work session. Teachers were able to attend, ask fantastic questions. Mrs. English was able to reach out to John Doran himself with some questions during the work sessions. That was super nice. Abe was the man of information. Linda was the gal of much information, so it was productive and so.
And there are some preliminary plans that have been picked out.
Yeah.
We usually have teachers interested. Nice.
I'm Carrie Eklund. I'm the District 5 trustee for Carlett and Summers.
Yeah.
This was actually one of the things I wanted to mention to you all to make sure you knew that District 5 voted on this not yesterday, but the meeting prior to that. And all AA schools are interested in Bridge. Like, this is just huge news, right? So we need
Yeah.
12,000
Right.
participants to make this work. So District 5 did vote to commit to it, but there were conditions. So I just wanted to make sure that you know, that the smaller districts know that, like, the bigger districts are also advocating for everybody's behalf, right? We have a really strong set of consultants. District 5 has been self-insured for a while, so there's just a lot of experience in that district that hopefully those points that they're raising and that they're pushing with Bridge will trickle down and benefit everyone. So if they can resolve those concerns that District 5 has and District 5 can commit, hopefully those are then, benefits to everybody, but all the Blaze are on board. That's really exciting because I know how challenging this is. for
And that's
districts.
not how it all started. It was
Yeah,
hard to get all.
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for jumping in.
All right, so at this time, the board is just being asked to vote on our participation sheets. Sharon, do I have anything that we're signing or?
Oh, yes.
Pledging?
There is a whole bunch of things that have tags.
That's just my notes from the meeting, because my brain was, it's okay, I'll
I
probably
see
find it. Actually,
Tag.
Yeah, there's one thing that has a bunch of tags on it.
You can vote and then. Cause it's just.
Yeah, that's it.
okay. All right, so any more questions from the board?
No.
No?
No, I see net benefit out of this.
All right,
So definitely. I will make a motion to approve our commitment to Bridged Health Alliance.
I'd like to second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Now we are moving on to policies. 3141 is becoming our best friend.
I see all these numbers all the time. It's just like, hey,
And I'm like, what? All right, 3141. Highlighted in yellow. Every non-resident student who seeks to re-enroll, we're asking that they do that by May 31st. And that's the heart behind that is we're wanting to be able to get a family's approval early. But they don't have to wait until August or September.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it did come, it was the second.
yeah, it's an email.
Yes.
It's sort of amended.
But it's.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't print it a hard copy.
I should probably read the things in front of me.
I'm still old, so I'll still print everything.
I love that.
We're asking for students that are newly enrolling to please do that by July 31st, and that's so we can get that August board approval.
And this is all for out of district students, just.
Yep. And then, we did leave wording in late applications may be considered. Definitely not the intent of the district to turn away rehab cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why you're seeing 3141 again. And then there was quite a lot of policy committee discussion around the 4330 at all. 4330, we wanted to add the waiver of liability back into it. We think it probably was there at some point. 4330 P is the facility use agreement, as the data on it. So it's. Yeah. And Liz, would you care to touch base on the facility use agreement?
So our old 4330 P is just a bunch of bullet points. So we actually dug into what other districts were doing that made it really clear. And then we kind of combined. So we still have the waiver form, which is the 4330 F. And it's the last one in the packet chunk thing. But this is our actual P, kind of our procedures for what you're gonna do. So making it into a table really clearly spells out how much are you paying, I'm in this column. When you turn that into the office, then I would highlight which column you're going to be in and then sign it, hand it back to you, but also you're gonna disclose to us exactly what you're going to use. So are you planning to use our basketballs and our scooters, then you're gonna be charged this additional fee for doing that. Whether you're nonprofit, school facilities, or school staff member, any of that, you're being charged to use our equipment. you might be waived for the use of the actual facility. But the wear and tear on our supplies, especially like our volleyball net, is my number one example right now. You need to reimburse the district for the use of those extras, beyond just that. So the 4330P is, the Cougar Head single form. And the new other piece to all this is that it needs to be turned into me with at least 7 days advance of when you expect to use it. So right now we have people turning it in on a Friday at 11, and then they're expecting to use it on a Sunday, and then staff has to scramble to get them a key by 3:30 when we leave on a Friday, but they're working till 5, and then it's just very panicky, but we don't have anything in writing that says I'm gonna deny that if we send it in late. The other main talking point on this one is we have, well, a volleyball club is a really great example. So we have a volleyball club who does service lots of our past Kyla athletes. They want to use the gym. Are we gonna charge them because they are charging the kids? So then do we get a portion of that? Or are we gonna waive it because it's in service to students? Like realistically, kids probably aren't gonna make high school sports if they're not in club sports right now. So while it's the high school students that are going to be using our facility, our current K-8 students are spread out using like St. Matthew's or Trinity Lutheran. They have to get all different. So that is a service to our students, and we want to be cognizant of that. So that's where those two different columns came. So are you renting it for a birthday party? Has nothing to do with our students here. That's not servicing the students that go here. That's just because you want a space for your birthday party. That's your one column there. Are you Girl Scouts, Hunters Ed, volleyball club that is directly servicing our students? That's this other column, or staff that work here. That's maybe gonna be another benefit we talk about as being a member of the Kyla staff, is you could rent it for a birthday party and that fee would be waived for you as a benefit. All are going to still pay a $250 deposit. Maybe not pay is the right one, but present a $250 deposit. And then you'll see my principal's report, but our cameras are up. And I've already started or solved one mystery on my way to Bozeman. Little lunchroom food debacle.
Were you driving and looking at your phone?
I was. No, I'm just kidding. Tyler was driving. I was in the passenger seat solving a mystery. But it will be really easy then to know what happened. Are you getting your deposit back or not? I'm not gonna sit there on a Sunday and watch you have your birthday party, but if something's out of order, it's really easy to go back and figure out what happened.
Good.
So whether you're a nonprofit or not, if you hung on a volleyball net and it snapped, you're not getting your deposit back. But the flip side of that form then really clearly lays out all of those expectations. And so here's how you're gonna be charged. Here's what we expect out of you. We used to have a separate cleaning page that's now included in that as well at the bottom. And then everything almost says if these expectations are not met, additional fees will be assessed to you or taken out of your deposit, etc. In researching all this, it sounds like not many districts are overly excited about their policies. I'm starting to get excited about this one now, so this feels pretty clear. You might see the 4330s again in the future, but I think this is a really good starting place to have clear expectations and timelines and all that.
Did we remove the nonprofits out of the?
Oh, yeah, so Christina caught that. I actually just added that back in, so if you do want to make a motion that includes the 4330P at the beginning column, I can just pull it up. Hold on, we've already put it in there. If Shannon wants Christina to.
Wasn't it in our 4330F or 4330?
I think you're thinking of the old 4330P that had a bunch, that was that one that said like nonprofits, but if you're a church, we're gonna charge you piece was in there, that was all one big line, because we just took all that out, and I had oversight from my end.
Yeah.
To put that on the form there in the first column, but it's in here now, just. Old 17 internet. Real life school problems that. Alright, so here's. Would be the new recommendation then from admin and not the committee, but. That includes what Kristen brought up at the beginning of today, so we should. Move to approve with recommended additions. We even went into like what's nonprofit, like Girl Scouts is a nonprofit, but they still charge people. Blah, 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 yeah, so how do we make it clear that not? We want them to have our space.
4330, I just wanna change this to say facility use agreement. Because now it says school facilities use agreement, just for. Because that's facility use. Affecting facility use.
I see. Yeah.
So Sharon, 4330 lines 2021. If we can just have that say facility use agreement.
So strike the word school, basically.
Yeah, and change facility use to facility singular.
So just take up the school,
Both.
right here too.
And then see.
Just so we're matching the agreement. And then 4330 F.
So you, okay, so you want to take out the school, so that's a change from the email you sent me.
No, I think it was on the email, I think I just didn't review it. Email members.
And then reviewed it after?
I didn't review the changes.
No, I changed it to what you told me to change it to.
Yeah, I just, hopefully it says facility. use.
No, it says school.
No, it says
No, it says
change-
facility.
change
Okay,
school.
I got it.
Oh my god.
No, you're fine.
And then 4330 F is. Pretty much what we've had and that covers. I would say risk. It's probably the right way to just sum that up.
Yeah.
And that's still the standard one from MTSB.
Yeah.
Do the people who are renting it, say for like a birthday party, they go and get like an insurance policy for that day?
No, but if you're hosting people and having them pay, and then it's a different level of liability.
Oh,
So
I
this
see.
does say, you know, you are responsible, you're not going to come back to the district in any way, shape or form, however. If you are a organization, then you need to provide us with the copy of your insurance.
Have we ever looked to see like, you know, when you do a birthday party at a place and you come in, every person who enters has to sign a waiver? Do we do that? Or do we need to consider that? Or to cover
I
us
think
like
it's something to look
if
into.
one of their guests?
Right now, we're over and above what the standard recommendation from MTSBA is. That's kind of what this 4330 F is saying to
Yeah.
me. Like, you don't have insurance, but we are not going to be liable. So maybe if you get injured, you are going to be required to use your own, whatever you have.
Or
Well, I understand that, and so the person renting it would be liable. But for the 12 kids that they bring, we haven't had anything signed to release our liability for them.
That's what this
That's what I'm wondering.
4330 F, I think is feeling. I think we could look into that for the future, but for now, this is
Anybody they invite. Okay,
the district, and actually there was one part that was like, the district, the trustees, the staff,
the county, the state, like there's one of those long. That's actually what it's on the 4330, the waiver of liability is right here. So that's exactly one of the reasons we added this in. So the school district, Flathead County, Montana, the trustees or agents, or any other officially or personally to use. Yeah. You can't come back to anyone. But I know exactly what you're talking about, like you had a Flathead Gymnastics Academy and everyone at that birthday party signs that waiver. Yes,
Yeah.
us all through. It might not be something bad to look into in the future, but. We're on the right top. Yes. Pending board approval.
We'll just see 4330 again.
Why not? And 3140, with our best friend.
I think we've seen these about 5 times since I've been on the board, so.
So we are calling it 4330P and 4330F. No number ones on there. So looking to approve policy 3141, 4330, 4330P and 4330F.
I will make a motion to approve everything that you just said.
With recommended additions.
With
With the recommended changes. Adding nonprofit organization.
I will second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are moving on to 5, 6, and 7, 8 girls basketball coach.
So the recommendation has been made, to continue our contract with our past coach. So we honor those if. You know, there's no reason not to, and it hasn't been discussed or brought up. Ms. Eli, do you want to add or expand on that?
He has worked the last 2 years and really stepped up last year when we only had, unfortunately, 1 team. And his daughter was not even allowed to play on that team. So I thought that was really cool. He's gotten a lot of feedback from parents also asking him like if he was going to continue. So I thought that was, it's nice to have parent support with that as well. So,
In other small schools, it's hard to have just one coach, but it's also a blessing to just have one coach. So the continuity of the program is, it's. So, yeah.
Is you in background checked?
Mhm.
Yep, current.
I think he expires in a year.
Okay. I'll take a motion to approve Andrew Sylvius as the 5, 6, 7, 8 girls basketball coach.
Motion to approve. Rehiring our coach.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, emergency procedures manual.
We are still learning to table that one. The great news is, though, it is in the, it's in the digital hands of all of the emergency providers that we need it to be, and then we're just looking to have them meet with the committee in January and then come back realistically in February. And have a robust EOB,
So if I can get a motion to,
EPM for now.
if I can get a motion to table the emergency procedures manual.
I'll make a motion to table. The EPM.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Questions? To clarify, are you not allowed to make a motion?
I have not,
Like you can, right?
I have not been allowed to motion until the legislature changed that effective.
This is like 2 months ago or something.
Yeah, it was just a couple months ago. She took on
I
that.
just want to remind you, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
She did a second already today.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, find it together. Run to our first information item. Miss Carrie, I can.
The bridge was actually the big thing that I was gonna make sure that you knew about, and I knew that was time sensitive, given that upcoming deadline, but. I know I introduced myself at the beginning of the school year. I just wanted to give, time for us to. Maybe have a little bit more time on the agenda to make sure that, on hearing your concerns and raising any of your concerns as trustees or your concerns from the students, or just start building that relationship, because I think there's so many feeder schools that go into District 5 high school. Kind of that Kalispell elementary vibe kind of drives a lot of that decision making. And, you know, there's a lot that these outlying students bring to that community, and also what our electorate brings to things like the high school levy that just passed, which was really, really important for the district. It did not pass, I don't think, in Summers. I think it maybe barely passed in Kyla. You know, so just understanding your position as trustees on what that means. You know, you guys are familiar with the unfunded mandates we have coming from the state. You understand how the state funding model as it is, which I know they're reviewing, how that really almost requires us to run levies without inflationary increases coming from the legislature. You know, we just don't have a culture in the valley that makes that very palatable. So I want to have that conversation with you all and your constituents and understand, you know, give you heads up to upcoming levies. What your position is as a community on that, how you've had your own district levies, bonds, what's coming up for you, so I can again keep that in the picture as we're having this larger taxpayer discussion, especially as they're about to have a very large prison bond show up on their tax bill, even as the Glacier High School bond is coming off. These are all going to affect, you know, I think our ability to fund schools. The one other thing I wanted to say, and I saw you guys do it, is we always start our meetings with celebrations and student achievements, and that was awesome to walk in on that today. I love that you guys do that.
We just started it and I like it a lot, so, yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's like my favorite part of boards. So, yeah, is there anything you guys want? I have to put you on the spot.
Well, I have one, Carrie.
Sure.
Your partner school or high school admin team has been very intentional this year of inviting feeder or partner district admin to, like, anyone who's going to go to Flathead has been invited by Miss Payne to attend a meeting where we can bring those concerns or questions, or how's it going, how can we transition better. And I know that's also happened at Glacier, which has been really nice to see that outreach and partnership.
But thanks for letting me know that.
Talk about any other concerns.
Which concerns?
We tend to come from a more conservative district.
I've heard from some parents that they're not necessarily comfortable, or they have some misgivings about sending kids to SD5. Because there have been some things that have happened within the last 4 or 5 years that don't seem to be fitting with the values of our community. And I've actually attended a couple of the SD5 meetings before I was even on the board. And brought up a few things and didn't really look for follow-up. It was more just a point of information type of thing. But I know, I mean, even for my family, we're a little like, do we want to send our daughter to Kalispell High School? Because we don't know if that's, you know, I mean, she's a first grader, so, you know, we might be.
Dynamics that may shift.
Yeah, so things may shift in the next 7 or 8 years, but that is a concern to communities like Kyla. I know a lot of people in Marion that are the same way, that type of thing. So that's just something for, I guess, your board to consider.
Well, and keep, I personally, just as an individual, literally do best with specifics.
Sure.
Right, because I think I can make assumptions based off of what you
Yeah.
just said that might not be accurate.
Yeah.
So I just want you to know, like, feel free to send me, I have a District 5 email address. It's on the District 5 board page. Send me specifics,
Yeah.
right? That lets me better understand the true position of yourself and your community, and that just helps me keep that in mind without failing with my own assumptions.
Yeah.
I do hear concerns within Summers, which again, I have a lot more community relationships in Summers since that's where my kids go. Things like the lunch period is insane. There's like, what, 35 minutes that they feed the entire Flathead High School?
Most of them don't even eat lunch there because by the time they get, I have two in Flathead. And by the time, like my daughter forgot her lunch one day, so she went to get lunch and by the time she actually got to the line, they were out of food. Like, and I mean, it is what it is, but it's also not sufficient for, and that- especially now that they release all the kids at the same
At the
time.
same time.
It's
Yeah.
very difficult, very challenging. It makes the parking lots very dangerous. I've
Right.
gone and had lunch with my daughter and insane is not even a sufficient word.
I mean, like, you need a bumper car to drive in high school parking lots.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you
Yeah.
guys are all new drivers and nobody yields.
Yeah.
Okay, I did raise that to Ms. Payne before, and she said, and I would love for you to pressure test this with your children.
Mhm.
She said, everybody is fed within 15 minutes. She said, some lines run out. And then you have to go to another one. I don't know how that
Yes, you have to
manages,
go
so,
back to the back of the line at another line and stand in line again.
right, so give me an update on the timing.
Yeah,
Because that was her response, like lines are clear by 15, so have your daughters time me, and I will say, 27 minutes on December 16th, right? Like that's the details that I can
Right.
bring back.
Yeah.
And makes it more effective than just a random.
the other thing as far as the high school, that I think is super unfortunate is their attendance policy change. You know, if you miss less than, I think it was 4 days, you didn't have to take finals. My kids were diligent about not going on vacation, not doing anything to miss school because they are straight A's and they didn't have to take finals. This year, that is not the case. I can hardly get my oldest to go to a few of the classes because it just doesn't matter. He has an A in the class and he doesn't see any reason to go because their attendance no longer matters. So because he has that A, he's got 20 unexcused absences and astronomy class, but he has an A in the class, so it's like, why do I need to go?
My own son has also complained about that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
very
that whole
unfortunate.
seat time versus proficiency-based education, and the state is not supporting the proficiency-based with actual benchmarks of how we're going to do that and still get your funding, but we're very clear on seat time. So that's kind of like, once the state figures that out, then the colleges could figure that out.
Yeah.
For their whatever's, and then the high schools can figure it out, and then K-8s or whatever can figure it out,
Right.
so.
It's probably very unfortunate too, it falls right after lunch. So it's like, he's like, well.
I think the
lunch-
before and after really fall victim to
Yeah.
that, because people will leave early to get.
Right, and if they don't get back in time and they're 10 minutes late, they're like, why didn't we go? Doesn't matter. That's like. Flathead High School is calling me again.
The other thing I hear from my Summers constituents is the classroom discipline. They said Summers way over prepared them to be responsible, respectful, and ready to learn. So I would love to know if your community is having similar frustrations with general behavior in classrooms and respect towards teachers. Cause that would drive me batty either. I used to be a high school teacher and like, I can't even imagine trying to teach in that environment. And I can't imagine, especially, for diligent students to be faced with that distraction from their peers doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I think I learned from that last.
Yeah, I have a sister, we're in a senior and I haven't heard that.
And it may depend a lot classroom by classroom, but I can even, if it seems specific, I can suggest, be reiterating the resources that are available to teachers and that expectation.
Yeah.
I just get a trustee comment period. I have no idea how effective any of this is. You guys know how powerful trustees are, like, not really. But I'm happy, I want to use that voice as a pen.
So I was here before and then left and then came back, and from my sort of outside and then newly not outside perspective, the outreach is intensified and is greatly appreciated. And is felt. So I think even some of the things that you guys are doing Like the 8th grade night used to happen at our gym, and now we are inviting parents to Flathead. I think you're gonna get less parents. But I think the intentionality of getting parents to our school and making it an inviting place, and this is where you go and they're seeing it. I see that as a giant positive. So while we might have some purses in the hall or something that may not be addressed appropriately, the intentionalities shift
Okay.
is felt and
Good.
seen.
Good.
So.
Good. And I think that's what we need to continue to drive. Again, the funding thing is just going to constantly be an issue. I'm sure it is for you guys. We see it very dramatically between the K-8 and the high school, right? The funding per student is less for elementary, but the staff ratios requirements are higher. So you guys know that you know the same issues. And I just, more levies are going to come, and I don't want to just keep putting levies up that fail. And I think the way we do that is get people familiar with their schools, get familiar, comfortable with the schools. Let's hear what those concerns are. Let's understand where those spaces make sense for those students of all interests, right?
Now that the county is doing our ballots also, it's really important that we all get on the same page. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna go out for a bond, it's not at the same exact time
Yeah.
that you guys are going out for your bond.
Yeah.
And being open with that communication, since it's in one place, rather than being sent in 7 different envelopes. Like which one am
Yeah,
I
that makes a big
picking
difference.
rather
Yeah.
than,
Have-
cause we need a bathroom.
Mhm.
And we're gonna go out for one at some point, and it can't be when you guys are needing your safety and security, whatever, for the 17th time. Like, we gotta
Mhm.
align and divide and conquer here with the funding we have in our valley.
And I think, cultural. I don't mean this in cultural change in a bad way, and I don't mean this in any sort of political leanings, but like the value of education and value of public schools. You see that in the challenge of the levies versus the public safety levy that passed very easily on the first pass with really not a lot of outreach, at least that I saw. I mean, and that really reflects the opinions in the valley right now. I think that's a very clear benchmark, but there's also very clear data that reading at grade level 3 is a huge predictor for future incarceration rates, right? So these pieces aren't disconnected, but the story that we have out in our community right now isn't making that connection. And the relatively, $2 on your $300,000 house to keep your elementary school fully funded versus $600 a year on your $300,000 house to build a prison. Those are going to show up on your same tax bill. They're going to show up as the same yes, no on your ballot, but they have very different value propositions. And how we frame that, and we're going to have to continually face it as schools. And for whatever the 20-year, 15-year life of that public safety bond.
And I thought it was 20, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so I want to work together with you all and have a consistent message.
Cause you guys have buildings that have a 1 to 3 minute response time for safety, and ours is 7 to 17 minutes. So when we're talking safety and sharing money, those are important data points to go back and share.
Yeah. And it's the same it's the same voters, so we have to be aware of that. And I think that's a very powerful message that I can bring to the district who, I mean, we have to make choices about funding in so many ways. And that relative. And it's hard to say we're not funding the safety, but it's a relative situation and where we help our voters prioritize that.
I would also encourage you to leave out that door, Carrie, and not step into our pool, literally.
I saw the pool.
Okay.
I saw the pool.
And listen for
freezes
the
in winter.
waterfall, so watch out for the pool, listen for our waterfall, and then you have a great snapshot of our facility needs.
I mean, we went through, I was on this District 29 board before going to District 5. I mean, and we just passed that major middle school, the new middle school bond in what, 2018, 2019, after failing for so many years. So I get it.
How long has it been since we passed a book?
Late nineties?
Oh,
An actual bond?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
No?
they haven't passed the bond since I've been here.
Yeah.
We paid one off probably within 3 years after I got here, so about 25 years ago.
We paid one off 25 years.
Yes, we
That's what
paid one
did.
off. We've had, and
So
then
35
like
years
just
ago.
operating levies, I think we've passed maybe one or two. But none of those.
So I was 3. I mean,
And that's
really,
what
that's the
that coordinated
messaging
effort.
that I think at home is the seniors that were graduating last year had never had a bond in the past.
Right. We was 2 years ago. Yeah. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly. It's deferred maintenance can be a strategy, like like a good one.
We
It
can't
can
defer it
be,
forever.
right, because you can't do everything, but deferring, I mean, like the boiler that burst, what was it, or the pipes that burst, was it Edgerton?
Oh, yeah.
Right, like that's deferred maintenance, like that was a known issue. Any school is gonna face that, and it costs way more to do that emergency mitigation.
We're
Band-Aid.
septic
Our septic, I was.
very deferred maintenance on what needs to be done there, and it is going to be an emergency at some point. Because we can't.
It simply needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
And that is not an elegant bond.
To support the new septic.
That is an inelegant ballot issue,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, so let's continue to build that relationship and build the conversation about it, because I do think it is far more powerful today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Sure,
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for coming. I'll send you.
absolutely.
we'll do.
I got some.
Good, that would be great, that'd be great. And I'm gonna leave because I have to pick up traffic.
Drive safe. Hopefully it's not getting icy yet.
It is not icy, it is like springtime, it's so weird. It's sad.
My white dogs are currently brown. Yeah.
Yes, it's a premature mud season, I'm not a fan. I'm not gonna actually go out this. Thank you all so much, thank you too for your time here.
We do not have any follow-up discussions from our previous meeting. We will move on to trustee nomination forms.
So the packets are ready. So starting tomorrow, you can pick up a packet. We have 2 trustee positions open, 2 3 years, Amanda and Nick. And so, yeah, no, they changed, election laws. So it used to be you had until March to turn this in, and now it's February 9th is when these are due. So at the beginning tomorrow, you can pick one up, and I happen to be a notary when you need something notarized. Because you need a form notarized. So yes, they're ready to go.
I'll swing by the office in the morning with my daughter.
That would be awesome. So, and if by chance somebody does not run for the second position, you can appoint somebody for a year. I'm just saying, and then the next election, that position would be for a 2-year, just in case.
Yeah. We'll be definitely willing to do that.
We publicly notice that, like, do we?
It is not required to publicly notice it because it is an expected election,
Gotcha.
so. Again, it's optional, but.
Well, it's sort of publicly noticed right here.
Yeah, we noticed.
And when you did that, we did a resolution for an election last month, I think, so, yeah, we're good to go.
All right, we are gonna move on to the principal's report, which I'm sure has slides and pictures. Oh, I felt like. That's awesome.
I can pass my phone around. Like a problem.
I need one for the power.
We should pop corn games.
All right, I still figuring Canva, but I love it so much more than slides. So, all right, our first one is an invitation. Hold please, there we go. I really hope all of you children are not in the district are going to attend their Christmas program. It's on the 18th in the gym. Get here early because if you have been here before, know how crazy the parking lot gets, and it might be watery or icy. But either way, it's happening. And it is a country Christmas theme this year, which is gonna be really cute and fun. The Cougar is already roasting marshmallows with a bandana and a cowboy hat in the gym, which is adorable. And got the kids very excited. Who are already excited and are starting to rehearse with Miss Counts in bigger groups at a time. And our K5s are all doing musical things. We have our cheer team is doing Run on Rudolph, as Wyatt had shared, and the guitar class is performing a song as well. So kind of all of, one of the biggest misnomers that we don't have music at our school that we do. It's just not a traditional class, but it is really highly thought out by our middle schoolers. Yeah.
Is our sound system working?
Ready to rock. Title and GT update. So, Miss Iverson and I have chatted about her doing a principal's report spotlight in January on our full robust winter fall benchmarking and seeing the growth. But, right now, we were just celebrating a couple kids this morning, and the growth that we're seeing already right now is pretty spectacular, and a very big testament to the title program, but also the para support that you have supported at this school, which is over and above most schools, I will say, and is run on point. Even both our new para hires are ready to step in, and yeah, our kids are really lucky to have such a great program. So, I mean, that also is down to the curriculum that you guys have approved to purchase for those programs. Our GT program is definitely a work in progress. We do have a couple of students who are being afforded some opportunities. We have a 5th grader who is doing 8th grade math right now. Our 8th grade math teacher is recording himself in every lesson, and they're doing an asynchronous learning in their classroom and traveling up and down the hall. Well, I'm really waiting to just get our GT grant approved. It's already been, well, 2 principal reports ago, you heard me submit that. I just need approval, and then there's a plan to travel to other districts and see how those are running and functioning, because it would be a disservice to our students to just put something in place to put something in place. And I know of a couple that are running throughout the state pretty closely. And our whole grant, then probably about 1/10 of it would be spent with 2 of the 3 in this room. Awesome. Getting subs for them and actually traveling to Polson to see a program and just sitting down with them and just kind of like give us a roadmap. Is our long-term GT plan. We might just do it, and then, fund it on the back end. But that is where we're going with that. And do you two, since you're here, do you guys want to add any sparkle on that slide? You can say no, it's totally fine.
What you said sounds perfect.
Sparkle.
Yeah. Exactly what you said.
Wilson has a highly effective GT program.
Yeah. So they actually have one FTE dedicated to GT, which is abnormal for, I mean, they're a much bigger district, right? But that presenter, my last year here, actually, I went to a statewide GT conference that person was one of the heads of, and they have opened doors to having us visit, and like, it's ready to go. I just need the avenue to get there, but maybe we don't. Maybe we just do it.
Okay.
And then figure it out, the funding piece later.
For sure. It's a 2-year grant.
It's a 2-year grant.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay. I just wanted to give a shout out to our PTA in my principal's report. They have done 2 gigantic lifts so far this year for us. They did the holiday bazaar, which was very well attended. I should have put a picture of that up here on, but we had at least 8 actual Kyla Cougars currently at Kyla School who had booths and were selling their own crafts, and that was pretty special. So, from my mom perspective, like, I'm just gonna make all these crafts and then I'll just put them on a table, everything will be fine. And it's like, no. So knowing like the entrepreneurship, 8 of our middle school kiddos had to go through and plan, and they were like on point. You couldn't have like noticed walking through if it was a Kyla student booth versus an actual vendor booth. But shout out to our PTA, that's a giant event. We really don't do much or anything for, and it was really fun. And then they just hosted last week the holiday shopping. So all of our students, they just bring stuff. It's like a giant oriental trading, and kids walk through with their money and can buy things for their family members or friends, and not have mom, have to look away, and but still then help pay at the cash register, so anyways, and they're all really excited when they, so shout out to the PTA for
I
doing
was
that.
handed a gift bag. Here's yours, open it. It's like, no.
I'm gonna wait for that.
We're gonna wait a couple weeks for that.
Fun.
And then something the PTA, I had approached the PTA about at the beginning of the year, and they said we're in a little bit of a rebuild year right now also, so maybe next year. So I was going to go to the student leadership team to run this, but then they're like, actually we have quite a few new PTA members, so we're happy to help we're gonna do a K-8 full school family dance night. So you and your kids can all come, and hopefully it'll be something like a glow stick party or whatever, but just have music and
Rave.
well, we're not gonna call it a rave, but it's hard. Yeah. And so we're gonna shoot for like a post Valentine's Day family. February, no one has, can't really do much. Things.
Oh, really?
This is gonna be more of go on Abe's. You need to show up now.
Yeah. This sounds like a good.
But
time.
so the PTA, I've been going to all their meetings, and so we'll sort out what that will look like. It's not gonna be a lot of work. It just is an extra from what we've done. And those are hard in a rebuild year, but worth it. So. Let's see, trimester 1 awards and report cards. So we are going to have an awards assembly. It's been a busy December. So our trimester 1 assembly is gonna look a little bit different than our 2 and 3 assemblies, but we're still gonna have it and celebrate our kids and invite parents to that. That went on in the Cougar tracks on the first wasn't Monday. First Monday of December, whatever date that happened to be. The second.
I think it was the second.
Sounds right. And that is this Friday at 2:20 in the gym, and then parents can take their kids with them afterwards, because it might take 40 minutes or it might take 25. It just depends on how much clapping everybody wants to do. But so in the future, we're gonna have pause recognition. So we used to have the CIA when I was here before, so kids that have met the expectations of C would stand and get recognized, and we're gonna turn that into pause, which I presented at my 1 or 2 principal reports ago. But in the midst of all that, in January, we're gonna have a team get together and actually have rubrics for how we're meeting all of those expectations, so it's pretty clear to the kids. And so at this awards assembly, we're gonna go over pause with families that are present, and just give some examples of how kids could show that on a regular basis. What we are going to celebrate
We lost
is
your screen.
growth. I don't actually think I need you to see this unless you wanna see, or I'm almost done.
Yeah, go for it.
So for K3, we're gonna celebrate growth. Last year, I heard last week actually that they did fund K2 celebrations at the end of each trimester, kind of recognizing students in areas that they were succeeding and had a mini dance party, which like, oh, I love everything about that. However, that's not this assembly, so we can do our own separate assembly for that, maybe at a separate time. But we are gonna recognize K3s just for growing, and every single one of them has made some sort of growth academically, math, ELA, whatever it might be. Then when we get into our 4-8s, we have our honor rolls, and then K8, we have attendance. Sean's gonna give away a Kindle for some library reading stuff. And that'll be our assembly on Friday. So you're all welcome to come to that as well. Cheryl and Coopers. I think that's all I want to say about that. And facility updates. Whoa, facility. So if you look behind you, above the Grizz flag, this was our first one last Friday. The roof started leaking. Unfortunately, but not unfortunately on the Grizz flag. I'm gonna leave that where that now. But it was coming, so it's actually a roof leak that was then had saturated the, I was gonna say stuffing, but it's actually called insulation. And then was dripping onto the ceiling tile and was dripping down. So, no one was able to come out for any emergency on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Somebody was able to come out on Monday, and luckily right before all the rain started. So, it's just a little pinhole, but that, so Ron Olson actually was the one who came out for that. He is the one that we've approved the bid for to do all of our gutter work. So newly, well, it's actually already on our long range facility plan, is to check into the flat roof. That's now moved up in priority. And so after the snow melts in the spring, Ron is already planning to come back and give a bid or do a full, like, what is needed, etc. inspection, which was suggested by John at the beginning of my time here. In hindsight, right? But that does lead me to our long range facility plan. So in January, we need to really take a look at that, and start making some decisions. So what funds do we have? What do you want to do this summer? High priority, long term, like what are we doing? Cause I need to start getting bids out and, like I called 5 places to see just on bids on replacing all of our double doors in the school. So they're almost all problematic, all but one. And I have yet to be called back about that from anybody. So that then leads me though to, I had McKinstry show up, just as kind of we helped you with the bond. We wanted to come back and just check in, not leave you high and dry. They're actually wanting to chat with us further about a long range facility planning and be a point of contact for getting contractors out. If we had like a bathroom, another really big project that's on our long range facility plan is actually enclosing that area before the front office door into an actual vestibule. And then taking out that roof that's almost falling down here between the office building and K2. If we were to do both of those at the same time and our double doors, it might make sense to get somebody like McKinstry who's in charge then of all of those contractors and actually get bids out. Or if we wanted to add a bathroom onto that at the end of over here, all those things, we need to start at least figuring out how much they are. But right now I'm unable to even figure out how much they are, because no one will call me back. So if we could give that plan or pass it to somebody else, they can start getting people out to do the bidding and all that. Luckily, our new hire, which is also, I was smiling like a weirdo at the beginning of all this, Shane. That is sort of the world he's lived in, with the exception of his group at Smith Valley. So he has lots of contacts. He is able to probably get people out here one of our new para hires, Emily, also has been in that role before and has a bunch of contracts. I know you guys have a bunch of contacts, so it's just gonna be time to just, using every resource, we're calling every human, and I need pricing so we can get it sorted out.
Take down some names. To find. People that were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Memories of it? Yeah. That's look back on our numbers.
Bring the septic guy, replace the septic for nothing.
Yeah.
So
That's what we need.
Shane wants, to work on excavation for these. So he may have connections, all the same.
but that's where we really need to prioritize our list, because I'm already just talking about this, like, which one am I more excited about, getting a middle school bathroom, or fixing all our double doors, or the vestibule, or could we actually get 3 of those done? You know, I don't really know right now. Bathroom is increasing on my priority list, so just so you guys know.
197 students.
Yeah, which is my next point. Thank you for the segue. If you saw the statistical report from the county soup, we are up the most actually of any district. In the Beacon, the graph that they showed is way zoomed in though. So, I mean, our bar is like,
But it's really like 8 kids or
it's
something.
8 kids. But it's not like we need to add a whole bunch of new stuff, but there are thoughts. I mean, we are really full. We are 3 away from where we were pre-COVID, which is pretty awesome, actually. So I will come with an enrollment kind of historical. I would like to actually look back to maybe, are we kind of a rolling enrollment? Sorry, Sharon. Or is it kind of like one of these, like some of the things that have come up, that we need to consider for our long range facility planning is all of the people that, there's so much building going on, but every single thing, public school, private school, homeschool are all going down. So people with children have to be leaving the valley. Like there's no real other explanation for that. They're not all dumping in. Yes, homeschool families have to report to the county superintendent. They can, obviously not, but those things are getting more strict on all of those. So, the likelihood of those actually being dips is more probable. What bigger districts are starting to do then is looking historically into enrollment data, just for us, like, the rear view mirror, Matt Jensen said this morning at superintendent's meeting, but the rear view mirror is probably the most accurate lens of what's gonna happen moving forward, rather than all these new buildings are gonna all have families, or houses are gonna have 4 families, and so you really need to count 1 as 4, and that's kind of the panic that happened during COVID, but none of it's coming forward. So, that said, though, we really do need to start considering a bond, etc. All that, or do we have enough in reserves? Or that's gonna be the long range facility conversation that's gonna come your way in June. Just want to give you a little heads up.
I would hate to piecemeal it, but I don't know if our community would go for a larger one.
Well, at some point, we just have to start moving forward instead of just crossing our fingers and hoping everybody's gonna agree with us, right?
Well, on that, the historical, what is that? Like, that's why we have one building and then a new addition, and then an addition on the addition, and then an addition on the addition, and an addition on the addition. So historically, that is what Kyla has done, and maybe that is the most reasonable.
It's probably not the best solution long term, but it might be the most, it might be the only way we get something to pass.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one was horrible. It was bad as far as how bad it failed.
I feel like we were close, personally.
83 to 17%. It was brutal.
I can take an ass whooping like anybody. It's all good.
I think
Well, I
it's
was-
especially gonna be tough, just with all the things that have been trying to pass. Schools on the jail bond.
Right.
That's, I think we're gonna have to go in for a minimal of what we need.
Yeah. Maybe we go conservative on that and use reserves or all that, but. The other piece too, McKinstry said they would just be willing to come back free and kind of go over what could your next steps be rather than
They,
pay us money and we'll help you
Yeah.
next and all that.
right, I mean, they already kind of know the school, you know, so that's, I'm totally fine with them coming back. So, yeah. If they could help us, that'd be awesome.
Well, I did invite them to our next long range facility planning committee, strategic operational procedures manual, and EOP.
Wow.
Which is gonna be really long. Yeah.
Let's make an acronym out of that.
Yeah. Let's see, all of our cameras got installed, so we have eyes on this courtyard, the weird hallway down here, the bathrooms, which I didn't actually know how much I was gonna use that one, and I've already used it at least 7 times, not even kidding. Which has increased my, we need a new bathroom. There's so many kids in those bathrooms, well, you already know, but look. The quality of the camera system that we are purchasing is really amazing, just so you guys. The fact that I was able to, on my phone, when I'm off, like, still be able to look is amazing. So we could have gone cheaper, I just want to remind you of that, and we chose to not go the cheapest route, and I think this is all kind of leading to why.
Well, thank you for being willing to do that when you're not working. Like, thank you for working for us when you're not working.
Well, I didn't have to, like, there's no reason I needed to look at a mini food fight, but part of me is like,
Your curiosity.
well, cause then we don't have a custodian, so then who's gonna pick up that food? And it surely is not gonna be Miss Mindy.
Everyone went through something.
But unfortunately, by the time I was able to figure it out, Miss Mindy had already done it, of course. But then those boys were able to come on Monday and help do some custodial things.
Perfect. It's great.
So, and then our office bathrooms are complete, but I feel like I just forgot to take that off because I think that they were complete in November. I probably already shared that. So toilets, urinals, all the things are buttoned, no asbestos on the flags.
And that building smells so much better. Like, it's been a big difference, so
Oh,
I
nice.
haven't noticed the smell in that since they've come. Does anybody? See, I'm just in the gym. No, in the office.
I just told Jim the other day.
The hallway, we would come in first thing in the morning, we'd be opening doors, opening windows. I would have my oils used throughout the whole building, so. I just haven't had to do that. We haven't had to do that, so.
It's like normal.
Yeah.
It's like what it should be.
Yeah.
That's what we should put on the bond.
Right? So
We just
it's
wanna
great.
get it normal.
We wanna hit the low.
I want to be normal like everyone else. Those would be the best t-shirts.
That ends my principal's work. On the t-shirt now.
On the t-shirt, oh,
Great.
great as well. All right, it looks like our next meeting is the 14th, just put on a calendar. Yep, January 14th is that second Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. And on that, I will motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Wait to see if one opposed. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. for joining. I just, I'm not sure on this one, because usually I was signed by the eyes.